Annyeonghaseyo everyone. Welcome to my plant-based kitchen. Today we're going to focus on a Korean side dish that is called kongnamul muchim, which is actually made from soybean sprouts. Now let me tell you about soybean sprouts. Soybean sprouts was actually used as far back as the Three Kingdoms of Korea. In the early 13th century, there was a medical book of remedies recording kongnamul here as one of the foods that was cultivated for medicinal properties. And I don't blame them because it is very rich in riboflavin, isoflavonoids, niacin, amino acids, protein, as well as lipids. It is also very high in macro and micronutrients like zinc, sodium, potassium, copper, magnesium, phosphorus, iron, manganese, as well as magnesium. Now, it is very potent in phytochemicals or antioxidants. It's also very high in fiber, and that's the reason why it's good for our gut. It helps reduce cancer, it stabilizes our blood sugar when you have diabetes, and it helps prevent cardiovascular diseases. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make kongnamul muchim, and we're going to show you how to make this very easy dish. So how we start is that I have here about 2 pounds worth of soybean sprouts that I actually blanched or cooked and boiled in a pot of boiling water for approximately about 6 to 8 minutes. After that was done, I put it down and drained it in the sink, and I rinsed it with cold ice water and got it down to room temperature. After I did that, I took the excess water out, and this is what we are left with. So let's take this on the side for a moment here, and let's grab the rest of the ingredients we're gonna need. We're gonna need a couple of scallions. We're gonna finely chop this. We're also gonna need some freshly grated garlic here, or minced garlic. We're gonna need our sesame oil, likely black pepper that I mixed with white pepper there, our sesame seeds, a little bit of Korean pepper flakes, and salt to taste. So we're gonna start by chopping up our green onions here as finely as we can. So what I tend to do is take off the tips of that and then just kind of finely chop it. Add it to the bowl that we have here. I love green onions. And if you have watched my other videos, we kind of focus on allium vegetables that include green onions, garlic, as well as regular onion. They are very good for us. It's good for the gut microbiota, and we should always incorporate it in the foods that we eat. Here we go. And that's finely chopped. We're gonna put it on top here. And we're just gonna layer the rest of the flavors that we have here. So, to get started, we're gonna put about this much, which is I think about a tablespoon, I would say. A little bit of our pepper flakes here. Let me grab this. We don't want it too spicy, we want it mild. So we're just gonna add a tiny bit of Korean pepper flakes in there. Now when I cooked this and boiled it briefly on the stove top, I did put a tiny bit of salt in there, which is 1/4 of a teaspoon. So we're gonna add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt here. And certainly if it's not salty enough for you, you can add a little bit more salt. I start with less salt so that if you need more, you can add more. We're also gonna use about a tablespoon, because we have 2 pounds worth here of soybean sprouts or kongnamul. So we're gonna use that, and a tablespoon of sesame oil. And I'm gonna use this serving spoon here, just so we know how much oil we're adding. And I am a little bit shy about using oil, so I only use it as much as necessary, which is very little. And now that we've had all the ingredients in there, just so I don't get the pepper flakes on my hand, and to kind of like mix this up really well, I'm gonna use a glove and we're gonna stir this. This is one of my favorite dishes. You know, when you go to a Korean restaurant, they put this on a little serving bowl right next to you, and then they will refill it if you want some more. I'm gonna have to tell you, I think they probably refill this up to 3 times when we go out with my nieces and my husband. We just love this dish. It's very high in fiber too, and so for us vegetarians, when you're trying to fill up because you're not eating meat, a lot of fiber goes a very long way in keeping you full longer. And besides, your gut microbiota is just gonna love it. Okay. And I have a tendency to just really rub in all the flavors so that when you eat this, there's no pockets where it's bland. Okay, and if we were to serve it, like in the restaurant, let me grab a little, well, it's a big bowl. Here we go. So ladies and gentlemen, here's your kongnamul muchim. I hope that you will make this at home. It is also another very easy dish to make, and it's very nutritious as well. I hope you enjoy this with your family. Thank you very much for joining me in this video today. We will see you again in the next video.